If you really want to understand psychiatry, neurology, or human behavior at a systems level, you need to stop memorizing isolated brain regions and start thinking in networks. Today I am going to walk you through the functional neuroanatomy of the human brain in a way that actually sticks. Let us divide the brain into 4 big functional domains: perception and action, higher cognition and association, affect, motivation, and social processing, and finally, state regulators. If you can organize the brain this way, clinical reasoning becomes dramatically easier. First, perception and action. Everything begins with sensory input. The somatosensory system starts at peripheral receptors, travels through the spinal cord and thalamus, and lands in primary somatosensory cortex. But it does not stop there. It integrates into a body schema, a continuously updated internal model of posture, position, and movement. Disturb this and you see neglect, depersonalization, or distorted body experience. Vision flows from retina to lateral geniculate nucleus to primary visual cortex, then splits into dorsal and ventral streams. The dorsal stream answers where? The ventral stream answers what? Auditory pathways move from cochlea to brainstem nuclei to medial geniculate and auditory cortex. These are not passive systems. They are predictive and heavily modulated by attention. Then come the 3 motor loops. The corticospinal system for voluntary movement. The basal ganglia loop for initiation and selection of action. The cerebellar loop for coordination, timing, and error correction. Motor behavior is not just movement. It is goal-directed action shaped by cognition and emotion. Second, higher cognition and association. Memory is not one thing. The hippocampus encodes episodic memory. The medial temporal lobe consolidates it. The prefrontal cortex retrieves and organizes it. Working memory depends heavily on dorsolateral prefrontal networks. When these systems fail, you see amnesia, confabulation, or disorganized thought. Language relies on distributed parasylvian networks. Broca area supports production and syntax. Wernicke area supports comprehension. The arcuate fasciculus connects them. But real language involves bilateral and subcortical contributions. Executive function sits largely in prefrontal cortex. Planning, inhibition, set shifting, abstraction. Damage here produces impulsivity, apathy, or dysexecutive syndrome. And then the default mode network. Medial prefrontal cortex, posterior cingulate, angular gyrus. This network activates when we are internally focused. Autobiographical thinking. Self-reflection. Mental time travel. In depression it may become rigid and overengaged. Third, affect, motivation, and social processing. The salience network, anchored in anterior insula and anterior cingulate, detects what matters. It switches between internal and external focus. Dysregulation here contributes to anxiety and psychosis. The limbic system, including amygdala, hippocampus, ventral striatum, assigns emotional valence and drives motivated behavior. Dopamine pathways modulate reward prediction and reinforcement learning. Social cognition involves medial prefrontal cortex, temporoparietal junction, and superior temporal sulcus. These networks allow theory of mind, empathy, and attribution of intention. When they malfunction, you see autism spectrum traits, paranoid ideation, or impaired insight. Finally, state regulators. At the core is the ascending reticular activating system in the brainstem. It maintains arousal and wakefulness. Damage here means coma. Subtle dysregulation alters attention and alertness. Cholinergic projections from basal forebrain modulate cortical activation and memory. Noradrenergic neurons from locus coeruleus tune arousal and stress response. Serotonergic pathways from raphe nuclei influence mood, impulse control, and sleep. Dopaminergic systems from ventral tegmental area and substantia nigra shape reward, motivation, and movement. Histaminergic neurons from hypothalamus promote wakefulness. Orexin or hypocretin stabilizes sleep-wake transitions and energy balance. These neuromodulatory systems do not carry detailed information. They change the gain of entire networks. They determine whether circuits are responsive, plastic, or suppressed. So here is the key insight. The brain is not a collection of labeled boxes. It is a set of interacting large-scale networks layered on top of modulatory systems. Clinical symptoms emerge when specific networks become hypoactive, hyperactive, disconnected, or improperly synchronized. If this framework helped you see the brain more clearly, save this and share it with someone training in psychiatry or neurology. And if you want deeper dives into network-based clinical reasoning, let me know what topic we should tackle next.